You guys, let's get started. So we are going to start in a seat just for a short period of time. And this is the case pretty much every time we embark on this yoga X class. We're going to use a little bit of weight to move around, dumbbells or kettlebell, maybe both. But before we get moving around quickly, let's settle in. Simple advice that comes from one of my mentors in the yoga world, Erich Schiffmann. When you're taking your seat, just get grounded through what's on the ground. Gently lengthen through that central axis. Somehow sense a little opening around the crown of the head. And then for a few minutes, listen inwardly. Through what's on the ground. Gently extended through the central axis. Open and spacious at the top. And listening inwardly. For whatever's there, whatever bubbles up. Could be mundane, could be profound, could be pretty random, could be pretty habitual. so. Let's move just a little bit. We're going to stay in our seat for just a couple minutes, y'all. But let's start with some gentle movements for the head and the neck. And just begin a little yes gesture. Flex and extend. And then follow that up with a little no gesture, twisting left to right. Next, let's move into a little lateral flexion, ear to shoulder. Next, let's drop the right ear toward the right shoulder and use the right hand and add a little extra stretch. Release, and then let the left ear draw toward the left shoulder. And use the left hand for a little extra stretch. And let's try that one more time to side one. So whatever side you tilt toward, use that hand. It's a gentle amount of extra pressure, but it's enough to really make a difference. Last time, second side. Tilt with an assist. Oh. Okay, and then come back. One more time to side one, tilt, but also add a little tuck. And use the hand to kind of negotiate both elements. You've got a little tilt in there, you've got a little tuck in there. Oh. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Tilt, and then you've got a little bit of the turn as well. So side movement and a twisting movement with a little bit of leverage. Wow, that really feels good. And then let's release that, everybody. Oh man. Let's try this. Let's reach the right arm out. Turn out the shoulder, turn out the thumb, extend out through your elbow, back bend your fingers, back bend your wrist. And then with your other hand, add a little additional back bend, one digit at a time. So you add that extra back bend in your finger, but it's also going to leverage your wrist into slightly more extension. Hold back with the thumb, slightly different angle. Switch. So left arm goes out, new arm. Literally finger by finger. Back bend. Back bend. Back bend. Back bend. And then the thumb. Shake it out. Okay, one more. Let's reach both arms out and back bend both wrists and all 10 fingers. Obviously there's no additional hand to come in and bring more bend, so it's just what you can do all on your own. Then neutralize, forward bend at the wrists, and then curl the fingers into a fist, which is pretty intense for the forearms. Neutral, back bent wrists plus back bent fingers. You probably won't notice extra in the fingers. Neutral, forward bent wrists, curled fingers. You'll obviously notice that. About 6 more. Oh my God, that's intense. 4 more. Oh my goodness, last 2. Last one. Let's shake that out. All right, everybody. So let's shift out of whatever seat you're in and then come to all fours. Just one more brief little sequence here for the wrists. So we're going to turn the hands out and then little by little start to turn the hands back. It's basically that same shape you just did when you were seated. Ooh, but now there's a little more weight going on, a little more to resist. Oh, and the stretch is a little stronger. About 5 big breaths here. Now if this is too intense, you've got a few options. You can just kind of have more weight forward, so your wrists are in a little less back bend. If it's not intense enough, you can lean back more. A couple more breaths. And if it's just way too intense, just get on out of there and modify. Oh man, that's good. Let's tuck the toes. Try to squeeze the heels together. At this point, you probably notice the intensity, or you probably hardly notice the intensity in the feet, just because it's still likely largely in the wrists. Let's change that. Sit back onto those tucked toes. Try to actively squeeze your heels together. Then let's bring the hands in a fist and roll the fist around. So the heels of the hands are closed, but nice circular movements. Oh man, and circles the other way. And then let's press forward, still on tucked toes if you can deal. Flex upward. Back to forward. Shake it out. Okay? Then we're going to set the backs of the hands on the ground, possibly. Again, it seems counterintuitive that if you lean forward, it's a little less intense for the wrist, but the angle is not quite as acute. So find your sweet spot, and again, just modify like this if you need to. Last couple breaths here. Find those tucked under toes, squeeze the heels together. When there's a lot of weight in the wrist, that should still be fairly easy. And then as you release, oh my God, release from the hands. Let's intensify the toes. Last few breaths here. Next, let's sit on untucked toes. So we're on the tops of the feet, on the toenails, where the shoelaces would be tied. And if it feels pretty good on your ankle, gently, gently see if there's a little more room for flexibility. In that, the knee angle stays uniform, even though the knee comes off the ground. That angle actually stays the same, and you move through any available range of motion in your ankle joint. Last couple. Oh, that's good news right there. Okay, then let's release. We're almost up, y'all. We're gonna switch to 1 foot flat on the ground, the right one, and 1 foot tucked toes. Okay? So you got a flat foot and a tucked foot. You're going to lean forward with your body weight and with the angle of your knee forward into the flat foot. Down with the flat-footed heel, but forward with the flat-footed knee. It should feel like your flat-footed calf and the Achilles tendon are on maximum downward stretch. Oh my God, that's good. Let's switch sides. So now I've got a right set of toes tucked and a left foot flat. I'm letting my knee exceed the angle of the ankle. Oh my goodness, that really, really cooks though. Last one to side one. So good. Last one to side two. Oh man. All right. From here, we're going to transition up to standing. All right. All right. So we're just going to get right to the weights. So as always, you know, you can basically just follow along with essentially every movement being the same, just without weights in your hands. But ideally, you've got something. So dumbbells are perfect. A little small kettlebell in each hand would work, but dumbbells are ideal. All right. So we've done this one nearly every time. Well, let me actually do a brief little precursor here. Just let your shoulders roll. But with the weights. Forward, upward, backward, downward. It's a very different kind of move when you're holding some weight. There's, obviously more resistance, more strength, more engagement. It's less loosey-goosey. And doing this loose without weights isn't bad. It's just a different kind of scene for your shoulders. Let's go the opposite direction. Oh, God. Last couple. And release. All right. Awesome. All right. So now let's get to this one that we've done most every time we've done one of these sessions. So it's great standard movement that's, you know, kind of a crossover with yoga and traditional weightlifting exercises. Okay, so first, get stable through your entire trunk, belly and butt in particular. Turn the palms forward. Curl the bells up. Turn the palms forward again. Press the bells up. Pull down. Turn the palms toward you. Slow tricep extension, which you could miss and just sort of like haphazardly let the arms come back down, but instead you're focusing on that part, even reaching back a little bit. And let's try 10. So it's a curl to a press with those little wrist movements. A curl to a press with those little wrist movements. 6 more. You've got steadfast structure in your legs, belly, butt. If you tuned in recently, maybe you remember one of those Tadasana cues to help keep your body really stable through your feet and all the way up into your hips. Just kind of those working feet. 2 more. Last one. Good. All right, next, let's set one of these guys down. Reach the arms forward. Hold on like this. And turn. You're rotating this thing forward like you were rolling it away from your trunk. Oh, that's a challenging one. Then you roll it backward like you were rolling toward your trunk. You can also do this just basically like wringing out a towel. Super good work for your forearms, your hands, your grip strength. So forward once again, and then backward. Good. Release that. Next, try to get the bells in an overhand grip like this. It's very different. And then just walk. "30 seconds or so. And walk forward or backward. And walk side to side. About 10 more seconds. Awesome. Let's release. Let's come back to holding these guys normal style. Okay, now we're just going to do a deadlift. Super straightforward stuff. And really classic yoga, just with the weight resistance as part of it now. So you can think of a deadlift as a controlled hip hinge. Right? Like a Padangusthasana, kind of like halfway down, and then back up. Now halfway down is a little bit of a misnomer, because in a sense you're going as far down as you can, but without back rounding as a feature. Like you just had basically had one joint to hinge at the hips, and one spine to move, like a singular spine concept. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Now in the next one, let's pause down in there at the bottom of the hip hinge and then pull the weight slightly backward and up. So they're under my shoulder here, and then here they're more like under the ribs. 8, we'll try 10. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's come back up. So those are bent over rows. Really nice movements as a counter to pushing exercises, which are super great, and we'll get to some, but those pulling exercises are fabulous. All right, so now we're going to take a single weight. We're going to do something called a halo. Halo, halo. Right around the head. Just like you're making a halo. So we did tons of shoulder and neck warm-ups, wrist warm-ups. All of those are helpful for this guy. Literally just like imagine just drawing a little halo around your head. So the weight stays somewhere around head height, whatever part of your head it's in front of. Go the opposite direction one more time, last few. This could be a new one for lots of you. And last time, second side. And there's not a second side, it's just, you know, clockwise, counterclockwise. Oh, that's such a cool one. All right. And then let's release. Goodness. Let's set these guys down. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to see how this goes. We did a mini version of this a couple sessions ago. It's like a little progression where you do 5, 10, 20, 10, 5, kind of like up a mountain, down a mountain sort of style. So we're going to see if we can get this accomplished. 10 burpees. I'm just going to give you the breakdown real quick and then we'll do it. 10 burpees, 20 kettlebell swings, 30 mountain climbers, and 40 squat jumps. And then 30 mountain climbers, 20 kettlebell swings, 10 burpees. Yeah? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 20, 10. It's heavy. All right. Just do what you can. So round 1, 10 burpees, well executed. Now remember, the burpees can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. That's a really clean one. It's limb by limb. There's no jumping. There's no push-up. It's just get into plank and stand. Get into plank and stand. Now if you're really efficient at that one, we've only got 4 more to go. Maybe you want to get in a couple jumps. I wouldn't worry about jumping up because we'll get squat jumps at the peak of this one. Last burpee. Next. You'll probably go back to the dumbbell, as you may not have a kettlebell. But you're doing kettlebell swings. Yeah? So with or without a kettlebell, even without weight, swing. Yeah, don't swing way higher than your shoulders. So be mindful there, Mel, more of a hip thrust. It's really that hip hinge from earlier with like no back rounding and a strong transition. I don't really let the bell come much higher than the shoulders. Last few. Next, we were going for 20 of those guys. Mountain climbers. Mountain climbers are basically one-legged bridges. I'm sorry, one-legged planks. So you're in a plank and you climb. Every time, you've got one set of knees coming forward, that's one set. So right, left, one, right, left, two, right, left, three. $30. Kind of like the burpees, if you want to pick up the pace on this guy and run it a little faster, that's fine. If you need to take breaks, that's fine. Last 10. Okay, hitting the peak. 40. Count them, 40. Squats. And at the top of the squat, jump. Now, 40 of those might just, wipe you out, but that's kind of the idea. But if it's too much, just do squats. Right? 30 more. $20 more. How can that be right? Goodness. Every one of these is full effort. You might not have a lot in the tank, so full effort's relative. Oh, but if you got tons of juice, last like probably 10 big full jumps. Jumping every time. Are we really going to take a break with 30 mountain climbers? That doesn't seem right. All right. We knew the job was dangerous when we took it. So, 30 mountain climbers. That's 20. That's 30. Kettlebell swings. 20. After 20, last 10 burpees. Take them how you want. With or without a push-up, with or without jumping. Might alternate which leg goes back first, which leg comes forward first. Last one. And then let's come down and rest on the belly. Just find your breath again. And please let both knees bend, let the feet widen. So that was basically 160 different repetitions. All right, 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 20, 10. That was awesome, you guys. Now from here, let's reach one arm forward along the ear, take the other arm and catch hold of the foot. And let it roll up in your shoulder. Kick the foot back so it even takes the arm a little bit with it. Try to contract the butt cheek on this bent leg side. Please release, switch limbs, new forward arm along the ear, backward arm along the tail, catch hold of the like leg, squeeze the butt cheek of that bent leg, roll back the shoulder a little, and breathe. Okay, and then please, when you're ready, release that. And then we're going to come up and just do a brief little seat, Baddha Konasana. Baddha. It's like a bound angle. Oh. Now from here, hinge forward any amount you want. And if you want to modify the pose a little bit, you can take the feet forward more. Technically, the yogis give this a distinct name, Kormunkasana, but it kind of changes where the pressure is in your hips. So about 10 slow, deep breaths. You can let your back round a little if you like. You could restrict it to a hip hinge if you prefer. You can have your heels in close to your body, or you can have the heels further out away from your pelvis. 6 more slow, deep breaths here. Ever so slowly ease out of the shape. Let's extend the legs, and then we can bend them and scoot the seat toward the feet. Roll back onto your sacrum and your ribs. And then at some point, extend the legs out, and then release back down. All right. Took us a little while, but we got down here on our back. And as you come down, find a nice palatable neutral shape where it feels like each arm is equally open from the midline, however far that is. And same idea with the legs, whether they're close together or wider than your mat, they feel pretty symmetrical. Just your own internal judgment. And then take your awareness down to your feet. And if it helps, you might even do a little wiggling of the toes, or just like a gentle awakening movement. And then deliberately, consciously let your feet relax, toes included. And then move your awareness up to your knees and feel a similar pattern play out there. Maybe contract for a moment the muscles there, feel a little bit of tension, willfully brought on, and then relax completely. Now you can do that up around the hips and the glutes and in the belly at the same time, and just kind of grip, feel that strength, that contraction. And then, even more importantly, for Shavasana, feel that moment where you let go. And then just stay in that zone, in that body part. Now you might try this in the hands and the arms, just make fists. Feel tension. And as you let it go, really sink into that sensation of release. Try it once around the shoulders. Soften. And perhaps the last place to work with this progressive relaxation technique is to tense your face for a moment. And then completely let go. Even through your scalp and through the crown. And just feel those lingering sensations of maybe warmth, relaxation. And then just drift effortlessly into a few minutes of Shavasana. Tune back into the sounds of the bell and the sound of the breeze and the sensations of breathing. And then please make your way up to a comfortable seat if you have yet to do so. It can be the seat we started with or just a simple crossed leg. And just want to thank everybody for coming today and practicing. Namaste.